Hello, so I want to go ahead and this is Elliot Wave Sage. And of course, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this video for your education, entertainment purposes. So I'm making another public video. And reason I'm doing it is I want to provide an update from my last public video and kind of see where we are from that earlier forecast and kind of see how things have progressed and how our members have performed since that last update, and that's the purpose of this recap. All right, so my video was stock market pump followed by a super crash, and posted that on August 8th. So how have we done since then? So we go back to August 8th. So we were somewhere around here on the Dow Jones, and we consistently have made higher highs since that video. We talked about this cup and handle pattern, or inverse head and shoulders, I'm sorry. And we broke out and back tested and continued higher for more upside. So the pump continues. Mentioned that it would be, a little choppy along the way. And I expect that to be the case. And so I believe as long as we're above this neckline here, we are in a bull market, and below it, the bears resume control of the market. And so if the bears really want to reassert control, they really need to get this back down below 45,000. Until then, we're continuing to see this kind of melt up. And so we've melted up, we've continued higher here, and then of course the triple Qs as well. Since August 5th on that video, we went from 559 and now almost hitting 600. Despite all the negativity, the market is essentially climbing the wall of worry. Investors are very frightened of a top, and they're so scared because they have a traumatic, mindset from April's crash essentially. And so traders aren't as aggressive and they're afraid. And technically the market is, getting more and more stretched, which leads to the second part of the video, big crash. So this is big pump into big crash. In fact, if you really look at this and you kind of take another look from this consolidation, it's almost like we're going parabolic in some ways, right? It seems like that. Breaking out of a broadening top kind of area that I know people have looked at, connecting these peaks. So it's really just defying all logic, all reason, all fundamental knowledge, basis in the market. My thinking is it's basically you have more buyers than sellers because sentiment has been so negative, and also people are so afraid at this point. Even though the price action doesn't show they're afraid, the sentiment out there is saying something different based on what I can see, and the market keeps pushing higher. The price is the final arbitrator on that, right? No matter your thesis and your view, it doesn't matter, because if you believe the market was supposed to go down here, supposed to crash, it hasn't. And it still continues to push higher. So again, I posted that video, big pump, super crash, and a lot of people backlash and just did not think any upside was coming, and it was a foolish video, but that actually proved to not be the case. Our members, as you can see in these boxes, we've had trades here and have made a ton of money. $5 a month, that box, boom, that box, boom. Fed day, we knew how to trade it. We literally got the low and got vertical. The Dow Jones, same thing. We bought the box here and we're long. Okay, SPY, even the other day we had a box, everyone's profitable. Now if you look at the SPY since August 5th, we went from 624 to 663. Pretty much in a straight line, straight line up, right? We're just climbing the wall of worry. We didn't do this, and we didn't do this. So my question to you is, if you follow or subscribe to services that said the market was supposed to come down and do that, I would suggest reconsidering those subscriptions, because somehow though they're not they're not in tune with where the market's really heading. Our members are always one step ahead, and now everybody is starting to get more excited, which as we get closer to a peak, everyone will be all in, and then we'll of course be more defensive. So unfortunately, what's going to happen is as this continues to build, almost parabolic fashion, it will set us up for a massive crash in the future. IWM also breaking out, continuing higher. Our members had buys here literally at the low again, another buy, and we just continue to grind higher. I also gave the buy alert in this general area, not even to worry about boxes. It's as a long-term investor, we saw the higher high sequence from B exceeding this peak, which is our clue that the market had ended the bear market low. All-time highs were going to break, and we didn't need to worry about time in the market. Long-term investors could just buy it at market, and that's been very profitable. IWM is coming out of a massive cup and handle pattern, and when that breaks, we're going to see gains into the 300s, and I think even 400s. So this market isn't finished going higher for now. And I know this definitely may upset people. It may not be what you want to hear. It may not be what you believe. You may think, well, we're so much in debt. The companies are so overvalued. I don't like Trump. I don't like Powell. I don't like anything about this economy, unemployment. Oh, there's a recession. Well, the market doesn't care about any of those things because there's just so much liquidity sloshing around the system. Okay, there's just so much liquidity. So they don't care about your personal views. The market the dips keep getting bought, and the market keeps going more and more and more higher, higher. So what I'm trying to tell you here is I expect continued upside, and then at some point a big reset. Now, we always know, our members always know nothing goes up in a straight line. So we have a lot of ones and twos here. It's a lot of series. This could easily become like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe a 5, and maybe we can get a deeper pullback, but those would be gifts, and our members would know how to profit and buy those dips and know when to come in if those dips were to happen. Okay. Bitcoin is another one that we've done pretty well so far in. As you can see, we're pushing higher. We have this three-wave move, and we've talked about this, that now that we made 5 waves, being able to anticipate this pullback, and now understanding from a bigger picture standpoint, where can we get back in? Where's Bitcoin going to head? I believe Bitcoin is going to go to at least 150,000 or higher before the big major cycle's over. So I think it could be quite foolish to try to time the crypto market right now. And I do believe more upside is coming, and in fact, we could have a breakout very soon if our count, as I have it shown here, plays out. Now we could also pull back a little deeper, but the buys should be we should be able to buy those dips without any issue. Okay. And again, gold and silver, we've done really well in silver. We've been profiting from multiple entries, much earlier levels, and we continue to push higher in gold as well. So what we're seeing in the market basically, guys, is we're going to see a continued push higher as expected. My videos since August, we've made a lot of gains in this trade, and it's worked out really well. Okay. Now in our pro group, one is when we've been long GME, and that's finally started to break out as well. And I expect more upside in GME, for example. Okay, we were trading AMC this week, and we pretty much nailed almost every swing all the way around. And we had this box, and then we went vertical. We even had a box here. We pushed up, and we're doing pretty well. Tracking it, we called the low in Apple before all the happy talk around their iPhone, sales is like way better than expected. Well, we saw that down here, and I was able to call the bottom, and I understood that situation and said that it was likely formed a low, and we could, if you wanted to be aggressive, go long in this box. We also traded it here by buying it long and then selling it right at the right moments. So these are examples of, some of the successes we've had. And then, of course, our elite group, we track all the symbols. We track all the symbols, guys. That the market that's popular with the market. Okay, right? MSOS was a big winner for our group, right? Being able to get in low twos and ride it all the way up. We got a reaction here, and we're looking for another reaction before higher. And then, of course, our gold miners, we've done really well. We had this little box here on MUX, went vertical for a trade. We've also seen mentioning about TGB getting our entries here and rising higher, right? And then SMR was another one in a box and then popped higher. And of course, everyone's in this Okolo. But we, our elite members had these boxes here to buy it at 62 and a very safe entry and even a second chance entry. And they all pretty much have doubled their money in pretty much a few weeks. Most of my members are really happy about those trades, easily paying for the $50 a month service fee just on that one trade in one stock. And we have multiple opportunities like this that emerge. And you can see all the different symbols we cover here. For example, another one we've looked at too is let's see, iron is another one that we've been covering. We had this covered, and we saw the higher high sequence, and I gave the alert to start to accumulate in this area, and then we got the big breakout, and I know some of my members have profited from that as well. Riot was another one that we were calling, having everyone buy back at here right around this low here, right on this low. I think it was like on $8. Once we got the 5 waves up, we bought the 3-wave pullback, and then you had another opportunity to buy it again, and a second opportunity. Our members saw the downtrend end. Again, these guys are easy trades we see all the time. Cypher's another one. We called that breakout on this big pattern was likely to happen. So, just kind of scanning through some of the bigger trades. IONQ was another one. We literally were able to buy that box at the exact low to a penny, and it's gone pretty much vertical all the way up in close into our target area. Pretty much for most investors, more than doubling their money in a short period of time, right? So just kind of checking things out again, just kind of looking through. But you can see all the different symbols. Reddit was another one that, of course, we caught very early, but then we even were able to get in at these lows here, here, and here, and everyone's in the profit on that, on those trades. Right, we do cover meme stocks and short trade setups here for these kind of pump stocks that have good setups. We'll cover some of those. Healthcare as well, we're covering as well. And let's see, I'm just kind of skating through to see if something else catches my eye. Yeah, I want to go to the regional banks. So the regional banks was a good way to play the Russell, and all our members in the elite group profited from that, being able, and much sooner before anyone else has been talking about regional banks. NEO was another one. I gave this trade in this box easy money for most investors that decided to take it. EOSE is another one we were covering. Sent alert on this accumulation area on the back test, and of course we've gone vertical as expected. Zem was another one in a box that has a reaction, as you can see. Okay, so let me show you the regional banks. So regional banks, as you can see, we were once with the Russell We saw the Russell form a low. We wanted to be aggressive and bought the regional banks. A lot of people bought the leveraged triple fund regional banks. And then that has worked out really well. And then there was another buy going into the Fed meeting, and that's worked out pretty well. Expecting more upside. So these are just a few examples of the success stories we've had on our channel. We've had plenty more. But not all the trades do work out. When we do, they don't work out. The losses are minimal because we stress risk management. We stress we don't FOMO in our whole stack on a trade, and we only risk a small portion. And the trades that we do win well, that may make up way more than what you lose. And that's the system we have. And I would say that. For most of my followers who follow me, I've retained as members. I've only lost a few, so my retention rate is almost 100%. So that should tell you something. Probably like a 95% retention from my first few months. So people, once they join, they don't leave my service. So that must tell you something. I think I got a lot of hate mail that said this would fail, and this was the dumbest thing, and you're stupid, and all these other things, but none of that has happened. It hasn't failed. I haven't lost any members. I'm only growing, and there's, again, if the service was no good, people would leave very quickly. So there must be something to what we're doing here, and it must be working for them. So I want to show you guys this. So if you guys are interested to know what's going to come next, you may want to join $5 a month. When I posted this back in August, I think most people that joined since August that watched this video have made more than $5, and I have a feeling they'll probably never unsubscribe again. I would say that we're unfortunately going to continue to see this grind higher. I know it defies logic and reason, but I do believe you'll see that. There could be a short-term pullback, like here as you see I have this labeled as a 1 2 1 2. Could be a 1 2 3 4 5, and we could see a deeper pullback, but those pullbacks, just like you saw here and here, will be buyable, and the cycle from April is not over yet. When that ends, that cycle, then you will have an epic collapse of the markets, probably like we've never seen before in our lifetime. And most people that got accustomed to buying into dips so aggressively, like back in April, so recklessly, will end up probably losing everything. And when that sell-off comes, because the dips will actually start to fail, and that strategy will no longer work. And when we get to that point, I think if you're subscribed to like my service, we would be able to navigate that and be able to be defensive and understand, exactly when the right time would be to come back into the market. Because like everything, even though the markets would have this epic collapse, there would be an epic opportunity emerge from that rubble and ashes, and we would be ready to profit from that. But we don't want to jump in too soon either. So just understand that situation. So yes, the markets, the technically we are setting ourselves up for that. That's why the market is continuing to push higher. It's going to be stretched like a rubber band, but I think that rubber band will continue to stretch more and more and more. And you can stay on the sidelines and complain and argue and say it's a stupid forecast or whatever you feel, but again, you're missing out on a lot of easy money. A lot of gains have been made really since July 1st, since I started seeing all the top callers emerge in the market. We've been able to rotate into many different symbols and profit and enjoy the craziness of the late stages of an epic bull market that we've been in for a long time, that is eventually coming to an end. But I would want to say too is when this does the indices top, it doesn't mean all the sectors will top and everything goes to zero. There will be other sectors that will benefit from the collapse of the indices as money leaves essentially the big cap tech and growth trade and moves into other things. And I think right now, when I look at the market, our elite members are starting to position into those sectors now. Just like buying URA back in 2023. If you would have bought the URA, uranium, in 2023, people would think you were stupid. It didn't really go anywhere. Nothing was happening, but now everyone is into that, and it's like you're a genius. And right now, I believe, and I don't, of course, I can't say 100% sure, but I think we're seeing setups similar to the URA in 23 and other sectors that our elite members have bought and will hold. And then I believe those sectors will run in its own grand super cycle wave 3 of 3 when the indices collapse, which would be the ultimate play to be able to not just sidestep the crash, but also profit from a sector that nobody is in and will refuse to go into until it's pretty much too late. Almost at the point like URA is already pumped. Now everyone wants a piece of it, but in 2023, no one wanted anything to do with it. But if you followed me, I had been preaching to get in the URA, get in the GDX, but those trades developed slowly into where we are today. And that's what we're going to see in some of these other sectors, I believe. I do not believe it's a go to zero, everything goes to zero, and cash is your only asset. I don't think that's what's going to happen when this grand super cycle comes to an end. So that's kind of where we are, guys. So I think from a target standpoint, if you look at the Dow and the breakout of this pattern, we'll be targeting above 50,000, probably around 53,000. The IWM, again, we'll be targeting wave 3 of the grand super cycle. So we've corrected this whole leg here. So we'll be looking for the next wave higher. We'll be looking for 380, 400, 460, somewhere in that area. The SPY is a little tricky. We don't have a perfect setup yet, but I'm thinking somewhere around 800, 840. And then the triple Qs somewhere around 760, 800 as well. But those are a little bit harder to forecast. I think the Dow and the IWM are the clearest, IWM being the most clear. And that would probably be the biggest indication that when it's really time to start to get defensive. When the IWM is in this area, I believe you better be on guard for a massive black swan that will emerge, because then the whole cycle will complete once again, just like we completed here, and then a catastrophe could ensue within the marketplace. All right, guys, that's all I've got. Good luck, and let's see what the future brings. I would say that, like I said, I believe if you follow and you subscribe to other services that did not predict the last several months correctly, or they were confused, or they're still just not being intellectually honest, even though the price data is continuing higher, you may want to give me a try. And like I said, the people that do try my service typically don't leave. It's very few leave. So that must mean something, they're getting value out of it. And I believe, you'll probably also get value as well. All right, that's all I've got.